Yeah, Ghost Town was really bad.
Oh my gosh, that was a bad movie. Yes. And considering I used to love him and adore his acting,
I remember liking it when I was a kid, and then it's so not good. None of it's good.
Okay, at that age I liked everything, but there were certain things that I strained to like. I'm like, I should like this, right?
Yeah.
I should like this. Let me put in effort. And then I realized I'm like, oh, I was starting to grow taste.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not everything was good, no.
No.
I kind of thought, like, Adam Sandler Values was a lot worse than Adam's Family.
Oh, really?
But I was about to say, we went to the theater with our dad to see it. And I was about to say, hey, that was, and he goes, not very good, was it? And I was like, no, it wasn't. And I was going to say, it was very good. So, I think my, feelings on that movie came from that moment where I was like, I just decided I didn't like it because of that.
No, I get it. Oh, my enthusiasm has tempered.
It was very good. And we're on.
Oh, yeah, we are. Sorry. It's rolling. I can see the pink on the screen.
I know it's time for NOMS Podcast.
Oh, yeah. Nerding out with Matches with Shannon, watching movies with Siskel Ebert, and probably not wearing pants.
Let's save that for the end, buddy. Save the little songs for the end. Let's do that.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. Say no more. Mon amour. So tonight, or today, depending on when you're listening, and by the way, we do appreciate you listening and watching. Thank you. Hey, at least we got a little eye candy over there. Over there. That guy.
Oh, wait,
that guy.
no,
you're the eye candy. Nah, I'm just the barbecue sauce. So we really appreciate you being here. We have got an awesome 2-for, okay? We have got two great movies. One is a great little dark underbelly, seedy tale of terrible characters who work together and fight for their lives and just like live in a world full of anarchy and darkness. And one is Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
That other one is... Yeah, that's right. It had to be. We were doing a double feature that you and I thought would be hilarious to put together.
Yeah,
what is that, Matches?
It is the polar opposite movies of 1994's The Little Rascals and Pulp Fiction.
That's right. Pulp Fiction for the kids and Little Rascals for the adults.
That's right. Two movies I absolutely adore, and we're going to see how Siskel Ebert felt about both of them, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you might be thinking, why put Little Rascals and Pulp Fiction together? I mean, they are very similar. If you think about it, they both came out in 94. I believe Pulp Fiction came out at the end of the summer. Mm-hmm. Little Rascals came out in the summer. Mm-hmm. They both have an ensemble cast of diverse races.
It's a melting pot.
It is a melting pot. That's right. The Great American. That's right. And they have trials and travails. They go through different things and they become who they are. And only one has a total of almost 300 F words. And that's which one?
Little Rascals. Pulp Fiction, I mean.
I thought so.
Yeah.
It's Pulp Fiction.
Friendliness.
Yeah. Two wildly different films, but they are both awesome, and that's why we're doing them, because we love the movies, and movies love us back sometimes.
Yeah, we're NOMS Podcast. You can subscribe to us down below. If you're on YouTube, you can follow us on Spotify if you're listening on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, wherever fine podcasts are listened to.
That's right. Get us on Friendster. I think we're on MySpace. It's just going to be great. Skynet. We're on Skynet. Yeah. So find us if you can.
And we'll be back. We'll be back after these messages. Shannon, do you know those products? Well,
I do.
It's not really a product, but it's like, where you can own your own star or you can own your own piece of land in Ireland. All you need to do is sign up on this website and pay this amount of money. And so we got a new one this week.
Oh, great.
All right. Well, NOMS Podcast is brought to you by Samuel L. Jackson's motherfucking Hollywood star on the Walk of Fame land deals. For just $1,500, you can own an inch of motherfucking land on Samuel L. Jackson's motherfucking star on his motherfucking Wall of Fame. Just head to www.motherfucker.com/NOMS Podcast and you can gift your friend, your sister, your cousin, you an inch of Samuel L. Jackson's MFSOHMFWOF today. Terms and conditions apply. Samuel L. Jackson is not affiliated with SLJMFSOHMFOWF. If contacted by Mr. Jackson or the FBI, you've never heard of us. I gotta go. See ya.
Listen, you can't make a fat guy laugh that hard.
Well, Shannon, up next.
Yes, Matches.
What's up next?
What's up next? I'll tell you. What are we going to have next? Stay tuned for what? I'm Froggy.
Well, we're doing Pulp Fiction a little later, but first stay tuned for The Little Rascals. Thanks, Froggy.
Marcellus Wallace says you better watch The Little Rascals or I'll go medieval on you.
That's fair, yeah.
Okay. Otay, here we go. We're going to go with the...
Otay.
That's right. Hey, Matches, what would you have if someone got 2 50 cents and put them together in paper form? You'd have... What would we have?
We would have $1.
We got $1. We got $1. We got $1. Hey.
Oh, yeah. It's time for the cutest movie of all time. It's a story of
Showgirls.
Love, a story of misogyny, a story of racism. The Little Rascals. Oh, wait. Sorry. I'll watch the wrong movie. Okay. Let's
Yes,
see.
you did.
That's fine.
You watched The Little Racist. That's what you watch. I'm sorry, I can't mix with you and play.
From 1939. GM Studios.
It is funny you would say that because The Little Rascals, here's a little history I'm sure you know. The Little Rascals started off as a series of shorts and little shows called Our Gang. And they were from 1922 to about 1944. And they were black and white, and most of them were talkie. And here's the crazy thing. You know how segregation horribly, sadly, was a thing back then?
Yeah.
Well, in this show, you had black and white kids of all different races all interacting like they were equal.
Yeah.
And which was kind of rare to be shown at the time. But they were all treated the same. They were all silly. They were all funny. They were all smart. You know what I mean? Like, they were on equal footing like you would see today. So it's kind of groundbreaking in a way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Hopefully it wasn't like shady behind the scenes. I don't know. I don't want to look it up right now.
Yeah, no, let's not do that.
That's for another podcast, yeah.
Let's not do that. What's funny is when I was a kid, this is going to really make me sound old because when I was a kid, Little Rascals was still on. And I know it's funny. It's like our grandparents probably say, when I was a kid, the talkies came in and ruined everything.
Yeah, we had reruns of everything back in the 80s, 90s. Like, I don't think they do now. I mean, they'd have to look it up on Netflix or something.
Streaming, maybe?
So kids today don't know these kind of things, I don't think. Like,
they don't.
Even I Love Lucy and things like that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well, thanks to Nick at Night.
Nick at Night, yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, we had good old antenna. So I think it was like on NBC and the afternoons you could see some Our Gang shorts. And yeah, Alfalfa. And let's name them. Alfalfa. Spanky.
Froggy.
Froggy.
This week we got a Froggy brother. Okay, this week we got a Froggy brother. We got Stymie.
Ooh, yes. We got Porky. We got the adorable, just beautiful little Darla. Darla.
We even get the Olsen twins in a bit part.
Yes, we will talk about the cameos in this movie that were very 90s and still resonate today.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So, Shannon, I just want to start out with, how long has it been since I've beaten you up?
Well, 30 days half September. I don't remember the rest of the line, so yesterday?
You're overdue. I love this movie so much, man. This was my favorite. Like, I said this last week, but like back in the day around 1997, I decided that Little Rascals and Pulp Fiction from 1994 were my two favorite movies because one, it's a hilarious contrast. Two, they're really good.
Is it a contrast?
they're
both very good.
And they're both the same movie, beat by beat, if you break them down. If you take Pulp Fiction and rearrange the order, probably. I'm not going to look it up or try to prove it.
You could get that.
It could be. All right, Shannon. Well, I have a question for you.
I got an answer.
All right. Well, why did Buckwheat take a bath in Tide?
I don't know, and I'm scared.
Because it was too cold outside. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I've been holding on that one for about 15 years. So.
Well, You know, have you?
I have, yeah.
Hilarious. Well, if you paid attention in the 80s to Saturday Night Live, you know what happened to Buckwheat. You know, after he sang his wonderful performance on Saturday Night Live, he was shot.
Oh.
Do you remember that? Do you remember
That's
that
right.
big
Yeah,
sketch? Yeah. Eddie Murphy played, hey, everybody, I'm Buckwheat. Get my new album, Buckwheat Sang. Once, twice, few times I made it.
Yep,
that is
a
classic SNL sketch.
It is, yeah.
And I don't know if it was the same episode, but they did since I think it was like after JR got shot on Dallas, you know, they did a little cliffhanger where Buckwheat had been shot, and they kept breaking into Saturday Night Live to give you news. Once again, Buckwheat has been shot.
That's right. That's so good. Yeah, I love this movie so much. And you know who directed it, don't you?
It's so much fun. I do, but the people may not tell them.
They may not. It's Penelope Spheris.
Ooh, Penelope.
Does that name sound familiar to anyone at home? Because it does to me.
Excellent.
That's right. Well, Penelope Spheris has been around for a long time. She's kind of considered an underground director. Like she started she made Suburbia, not the 1990s one, but the 1980s one about punks and punk music and all that kind of stuff. She did the documentary, The Decline of Western Civilizations, 1, 2, and 3.
There were 3?
There were 3 of them, yeah. And
wasn't one of them called The Metal Years?
Something like that, yeah. And she got offered to direct This Is Spinal Tap. And she said that she didn't think you could make fun of heavy metal music, so she turned it down.
Wow.
And yeah, she thought it was so serious and loved it so much and
she was a fan.
But she brought all of these things into the mainstream, I guess, for more people to hear about it and be those things. She worked on shorts for Albert Brooks and Richard Pryor, both written by and starring them. So she had a kind of foot in the door.
Okay. And then what was her big breakthrough?
Her big breakthrough was probably Wayne's World.
That's right. She's the worst director ever. Not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I like to be relative to the kids.
Well, she wasn't asked back. Her and Wayne did not get along at all on set, so that kind of sad. But you
were telling me that Mike Myers is a bit of a. Yeah,
she was on a podcast not long ago, and I can't remember the title of it. It's one of those Hollywood podcasts. It was fascinating. They didn't get along so well, and that's fine. You know, not everyone gets along. She wasn't asked back for 2, but she did direct Black Sheep.
The Chris Farley and David Spade.
The one that's just as good as Tommy Boy. You remember? Black
You know what? This podcast is over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. It could have been. I was wanting Tommy Boy 2. I was like, Tommy Boy 2. Holy shnikes.
When she was asked to do the Brady Bunch, she didn't know the Brady Bunch TV show very well, so she said no. So they said, well, what about the Little Rascals? And she said, that I know it by heart. And so she directed The Little Rascals and wrote it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
She wrote it.
Steven Spielberg is a producer on this, if you remember.
I did not know that. That's actually kind of cool.
He decided not to, but he read her script and said, I'm in.
Oh, yay!
And I mean, you can't go wrong because of the source material on this. You know, all they did was set up a bunch of stuff from back then and make it into a movie, different skits, and different shorts or whatever.
Connected together.
Connected together, and it worked so well for me. I really, really, really like the Little Rascals because they're so cute.
When is the first time you saw Little Rascals? Because you mentioned 97.
Yeah, no, I just decided at that point. That was just a few years later. That was.
Oh, my bad.
6, 7, yeah. So I saw it in '94. We saw it in the theater. I'm pretty sure, and then on home video. So.
Oh, jealous.
Yeah.
No, 94 was a big summer for me. I remember I was young. I was learning who I was. And the cops were watching. No, 94 was a big year for movies for me. There was Lion King, and that's about it. Forrest Gump, Wolf. I didn't have time to go see every movie in the theater, but I really wanted to see Little Rascals. That was the summer that my sister, who, if you know my sister, I love her to death, she did something she never did before. She goes, come on, get in the car. We're going to a movie. She took me to see the Flintstones.
Are you serious?
Which was disappointing, but being with her was great. Yeah, well, she brought a friend, so she wouldn't have to talk to me, but still.
Stellar cast, stellar show.
Could have been great.
Could have been really
something
good.
happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what it was? You know what made the Flintstones movie not so good?
Rosie O'Donnell?
No. Okay, that's one of many things. Yes.
I love Rosie. She's great.
Remember when she was the Queen of Nice?
Yeah, man.
I miss those days. But anyway, no, what made it so bad was they tried to get the dinosaur actors from Jurassic Park and they wanted more money. And that's why the dinosaurs look so silly and unreal. Yeah, the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park was like, I'm sorry, we only work with Spielberg.
Oh, wow.
Maybe you can talk to us if you make a sequel. Oh, yeah. They were real snobs. They had really... It had been a year. Come on, get over yourself.
Well, Penelope Spheeris' rule when she shot the film was that when the kids came on set, she had to give a hug to every kid every day because they were so freaking cute.
Okay, now I didn't know that rule. Is that real?
What did you think? Yeah, it's real. Well, now that would be considered kind of creepy, but I think it was beautiful, you know? She thought they were so cute.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's what... That'll get you in trouble now. Like, you gotta hug the director. Come here, Jennifer Love Hewitt, every day. Every day.
Why is it?
You know what? Hollywood
just.
It's gotta be. We ain't cotton into that no more. No. So no, the secret that I know, it's not a secret, but the cool thing that I know about the movie is for every cast member, when they would lose a tooth, you know, because they were between the ages of like 3 and 12. Okay. Mm-hmm. When they would lose a tooth, she would give them a lot of money for it. And she said, we got to finish this movie quick because I'm going broke.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because they were dropping teeth.
I saw an old interview where it was like they'll just wander off like during the scene or whatever, thinking that they're done. Yeah. They were losing teeth. They were getting sick. Whenever she'd yell action, somebody's hand would go up and they go, I gotta go to the bathroom. And they all have to go to the bathroom at the same time. She said it was wonderful working with them. She doesn't remember it at all being any kind of nightmare or anything like that. She loved it. And so that's good.
What's great about that is a lot of that is captured. One of my favorite parts of the movies is after the movie's over, they show the bloopers. The little girl who played Darla, her name was Brittany something, and you can hear the director going, Brittany, don't stare at the camera. Brittany, don't look at the camera. Brittany, you're looking at the camera. And she'd be like...
Well, she discovered they can see themselves in that big lens. So they're looking at themselves like I'm trying to not do while I'm doing this podcast or whatever. So she put a mirror in a certain place they were supposed to look so they could look at themselves. Yes. And they would get the shot. So
that is genius. Because it was a mix of amateurs and maybe not veterans, but people you'd seen before. Like, let's talk about Bug Hall playing Alfalfa. That same summer, what movie did he have a small part in? Do you remember?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Come on, man. Don't let me down.
I know he was the oldest kid of the Little Rascals. He just was very small for his age. He was 10 years old.
I think he had been in a couple of small movies, but he was in one of the biggest movies of the summer and the year.
Okay, 94, Pulp Fiction.
No, Getting Even with Dad. No, good grief, no. He was in Forrest Gump. He played Forrest Gump.
Wait, are you serious?
He played Kid Forrest Gump. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
He did. He was my name is Forrest Gump. That was him. He was Forrest Gump. That's him.
So he's the kid that's responsible for Forrest Gump talking like Forrest Gump, I think, actually.
Oh, really?
Because he had kind of a southern accent. And so he kind of mimicked what that kid was doing, so they would be the same, and that's how we got Forrest Gump, not acting like Tom Hanks.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think he was from Mississippi or something, and he couldn't help but do his big accent.
Yeah, I believe he was from the old Mississippi. Yeah, he sounded like a little riverboat captain, little junior.
Oh man, so cute. Bug Hall, what a name, man.
I know, right? Bug Hall. He went on to do a few more things. He was in a Disney movie with Lindsay Lohan, and before she started driving, and so he's done a few things. But so you had Bug Hall, you had Ross Bagley, who played Buckwheat. Who, as you said before, was grown-up Nicky on Fresh Prince.
Yeah, he was. And, he came up with those little songs on the spot. You know, his got
his jams.
I got $1. All his jams were on the spot. And he made them up himself. And they've caught on. I still hear this today. I still hear
There is
this
so
song.
much to love about this movie, and we will get into that. But speaking of love, there's not a lot of love from the critical circle around that time, is it?
Yeah, apparently not. I didn't realize it, but...
It doesn't matter. You can like a movie. If the critic likes it or loves it, you can still love it.
Look, our boy Siskel Ebert didn't even touch this movie.
I know. People, we don't have clips this week of Siskel Ebert for Little Rascals.
I've got one blurb that I can share with you, if you would like.
Okay. I would love it.
And I quote... Let me recite this 1 second. Okay. Here we go. Nope, not that one. Okay. All we have is one little blurb, and the full review goes to nothing. It's a 404 page not found kind of an error. So it says,
oh my gosh.
By Gene Siskel, a dismal kids comedy in which all creativity stopped after casting lookalikes for the old Rascals, was complete.
That's
Woof, woof.
yeah.
Woof,
As the kids say
woof.
today, wump wump.
Woof,
That
woof was
is-
actually in the Little Rascals, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I got you. So basically, Siskel told the movie one of my favorite lines of Buckwheat says, "You are scum beneath my toes."
Oh yeah, that was the note that he wrote for Darla.
Well,
He
supposedly.
sort of, yeah. He said out loud that he said, "Dear Darla, I hate your stinking guts.
Guts.
I hope you something something. You are the scum between my toes.
Beneath my toes.
I love that so much. Like, this movie had a great beginning, middle, and end, and it was not boring
did.
any of the way through. It was cute. It was funny. I thought it was just darling. Like, it's one of my favorite movies.
Yes, me too. It's a feel-good movie. When Groot was little, he loved watching it with me. He would
Really?
crack up. Yes.
Yeah, it's a solid movie.
It is. You've got these classic characters from, like at the time, over 50 years ago.
Yeah.
People grew up watching them. And you've got good direction by Penelope Spheris, as you said. And one of the best things of all, you've got some of the best cameos out of nowhere. Like, for instance, when they tell Buckwheat, there's your mom, who shows up? Do you don't remember who played Buckwheat's mom?
Hold on.
Think about the hair.
Felicia Richard.
I'll give you a clue. They
Regina
see her,
King.
she waves. Dame Judi Dench.
Betty White.
Very close. Kathy
Who was it,
Bates.
Shannon?
No. Okay, so Buckwheat looks over and she waves and he goes, "Whoopee." It's Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot. How could I forget
Yes!
that? Yeah.
Yes, 'cause
Whoopee.
at the end they both do the "Tay"
Tay.
during the credits bloopers. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So
That's
Whoopi
good.
Goldberg.
One of
And
them.
then let's name some more cameos.
Okay. Let's see.
them.
Well, I've already mentioned the Olsen twins earlier.
Yes, they made
And they probably had a big part,
part,
so they didn't have to pay them $1 million a piece back then.
They were a business back then, right? They were a
Yeah.
powerhouse. These
Oh,
twins
yeah.
made-
They were getting towards
had
their
people
billionaire
killed, I'm pretty
empire
sure.
at that
I'm
point.
kidding. They were huge. They had a twin empire. They did.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
I know. It's
Yep. They were in it for
insane.
half a second. Who else was in it for half a second? They showed
Raven Simone.
Raven Simone was just for a brief second.
I don't even think she had a line. She was like Stymie's girlfriend at the
No,
end.
she did at the very
Spoilers.
end. She did at the very end. She said something, and I can't remember what it was.
Oh, did
But
she?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I thought it was real
Yeah.
cute. Yeah. And then,
then-
who was it at the end that? Which one was the kid that gave the English lessons at the end? Or basically, you know what I'm talking about? Where he stands up and said, "Actually, I have a huge." You know what I'm saying? Remember?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's his name. Okay.
Because throughout the entire movie, and his whole character was that he said
But he had a full grasp of the English language and said so.
He did. He's like, actually.
It was
And
so
that little
good.
kid, Cortland Mead was his name. He had been in things before too. Like, these were kids that
I
some of you had
remember
seen
that kid
before.
from stuff, and I don't remember
Yes,
what.
something.
Yeah.
And little Spanky Travis Tedford did Welch's grape juice. That's the good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, he was perfect in Spanky though. He was really
He
only
was-
5 years old, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had to do this movie in bits and pieces. Like, sometimes they'd have a strip of film this long, a bunch of them. They'd have to like cobble them all together. And Penelope just had it all in her head. And someone said, "You can't make a movie out of this." And she was like, "Well, I'm kind of breaking this rule, but I'll go ahead and put it together for you and show you." And she did. And they're like, "Carry on, keep going."
Nice. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
We were wrong.
She really is a genius director, I think. Yeah.
What's she doing these days? I haven't heard from Penelope Spheris since the 90s.
She has something in the works. I can't remember what, but she's still around. She's gonna be She said she wanted to make a book about all her times in Hollywood and how bad it was and all this stuff.
Oh,
And,
that sounds fun.
She's a bit of a negative Nancy. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I
guess
love
we
her.
just bit the hand and chewed it and just like,
Yeah,
more please.
no.
I don't know.
Well, she worked with the Weinsteins, like, firsthand. So she's got not those kind of stories, but she's got the the nightmare stories of working with them. Yeah.
Yeah. See, okay, I always knew Harvey Weinstein was like I thought it was just like, I want the perfect movie, and he's such a
But
such
he'd
a
be
hot
rewriting the
little guy.
movies and recutting the movies, and they would be completely different and worse.
Really? Making them worse?
Yeah, worse than what the movies originally were supposed to be. Yeah, a lot of those
Okay,
movies were
okay.
ruined. A lot of Alan Smithy films came about because
I love
Harvey
the-
Weinstein was such a prick.
I love the works of Alan Smithy. But
Yeah.
in this movie, let's continue with the cameos. You have got George Wendt working at a lumberyard, because the big plot of it is they accidentally burned down their clubhouse because Alfalfa is sneaking around with Darla, because they are, what is the name of their club matches? It's the...
He-Man Woman Haters Club.
That's right! Can I get a
love
oi,
it.
oi, 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 oi?
Oy, 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 oy. Oh my God, they're so good.
So they hate women, but Alfalfa has
See,
learned
there's the
that-
misogyny right there. I was telling you.
Oh, there you go.
Telling
There
you
go.
about.
That's probably what turned women and critics off the movie. They're like, how dare they?
How dare they? Yeah, women are people too.
Yes, I don't know why I'm laughing. I agree. Women are people.
It's just a funny way to say it, but yeah.
That's like the question, like, do you still beat your dog? Wait, what? No, yes, no. So Alfalfa's wooing Darla behind everybody's back, and they find out, and they end up accidentally burning down the clubhouse. So they got to get money to rebuild their clubhouse. They
Yeah.
have enough money to the lumberyard. They have enough money to get, what was it like a little block?
Yeah.
Remember, how much can we get for this? And George Wendt's like, paper or plastic?
Yeah, they need like $450 for enough wood to build their clubhouse, which is a lot of money, actually.
And it was, especially for kids. And then they go to a bank where Stymie and I don't know whichever. Was it? Oh yeah,
Froggy.
Where they're like Stymie. Yes,
Stymie and
it's
Froggy.
Stymie and
And Spanky on top. They're 3 kids in a trench coat.
which is a
And
classic
then there's another
staple.
one. Wait, there's 2 of them, right? There's 2 sets of like.
Yeah, there's two.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stymie's one of them, and Spanky's one of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
And Mel Brooks is the bank guy.
Yeah.
and they have one of the best exchanges. He's like, "If you were my kids, I'd punish you." And Stymie says, "If we were your kids, we'd punish ourselves."
Yeah, that was so good.
So you got Mel Brooks.
It
And
is
then
with
you
Mel
have-
Brooks just saying like kids are the worst or something, and,
I
and they
know,
walk
I
out
know.
as another man in a trench coat, 2 men in a trench coat walk in with the same kind of beards they have,
the beards.
and they're like, "Good luck."
I know. I keep
So
thinking.
good.
I keep wanting to think in my life, whenever I get bullied by somebody big, I kept wanting to like kind of grab him in the middle. Hopefully, there was like a kid in the middle, like, "Hey,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's Preview. I knew it." Then you got Leah Thompson as the dance instructor.
Yeah,
the
Leah
ballet
Thompson.
instructor.
I forgot she was in that. I was very delighted this round when I watched it.
It-
Yeah.
It was a nice surprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course you got
the rich kid whose father
The
is
rich kid.
disgraced former president
that's
Donald
right,
Trump.
Donald Trump, who I believe he steals a woman's popcorn.
Hopefully,
in
by the
film.
time you watch this episode, he won't be again. Because this is right
Never
before the
disgraced.
elections.
So yeah, so Donald Trump plays the dad, of course, of the rich yuppie bad kid.
Yeah.
But then Spanky's favorite racer, who apparently he's never seen with the helmet off.
I love this. It's a
Is
nice
it AJ?
twist.
It's AJ something, right?
something. Yeah. It is.
AJ Jam Racer. Yeah,
Simpson,
something like that.
AJ Simpson or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Well, the racer's there and pulls off the helmet at the very end when they win the Derby, and it's played by who? Everyone's fiery country redhead.
That's right. Fancy.
Reba.
I mean,
Fancy.
Reba.
Hey, you know Fancy is her name.
That's right.
Speaking of
Reba,
which-
man. Reba McEntire. Classic.
On a side note, I say that to my wife all the time. She's like, "Take out the trash," and I'm like, "Fancy is my name," and you
I
don't.
like how mad that Spanky is. He won't even speak. He won't even look at her. And now she asked, "Well, Alfalfa, what's wrong?" He said, "Well, he thought that AJ McSimpson was going to be given." It's like, "Well, I got news for you guys. That's me." She takes off her little jacket and it says her name on the back.
Yes.
And they're like, "But you're the best racer in the world," or whatever. And so that's how they stop hating women and learn to accept
Yes.
women for as
And
being as good as they are.
And did you know there are some people who treat this movie as problematic because of that? Like, apparently they've never been a little boy and went through
Really?
that phase. I mean, now I never went through that phase. I thought women were awesome at the age of 2.
Yeah,
you
but
know
we're
what I
all
mean?
running around going, "Ooh, they got cooties," even when we like
Right.
them.
It's not that you
secretly.
don't like
Yeah.
women. You like women. You're just not like, ew, they smell
And that's
weird.
what this the whole movie is about, is that kid feeling of like you hate these people, but you all of a sudden start liking one of them or two of them or
Exactly.
whatever. And
It
it's such
changes
a
everything.
great bit of life there, like in this movie.
And one last cameo, speaking of liking women, Miss Daryl Hannah. Wow.
Daryl Hannah. Yeah,
That's
that's
their
great.
teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they love her. Remember, they're like, "Hi, Miss So-and-so, pretty
Yeah.
woman." I don't know. What
I forgot what her
is.
name was in it, but they love her. Yeah, when they're doing the making money or whatever,
Yes, they're charging for the talent show.
and that was wrong.
I just got couple more things to say. One thing. How often in your head do you sing the song Alfalfa sang in Alfalfa's voice when he's doing the talent show?
Oh my God! Still
All
in the shower.
I need is the air that I breathe and to love you.
The little bubbles coming out or
Yes.
whatever. Even at the first with the "You Are So Beautiful," like it's so perfect because
Alfalfa's
I mean
voice.
the club is setting up how manly Alfalfa is.
I know,
They're sitting in a boat. She's got a little parasol.
I know her little face.
It's the
She's so
cutest.
happy.
It's the best opening I think of a movie I've
And
seen
then-
in a long time.
One more thing, speaking of the club, it's a very kid-friendly movie you can show your kids.
Yeah.
But with a lot of kid-friendly movies from that era and a little later on, it's got a little innuendo that you probably didn't catch when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And not much, not anything bad. But there is a scene where Froggy, by the way, we haven't even talked about how Froggy
I know.
talks like this.
I love him,
He's a
yeah.
totally different actor in his voice, yeah. So Froggy's talking about a girl next door that tried to be friends with him. She wanted to play with me. And they're like, ew, what'd you do? He goes, I whipped out and showed her my lizard. And he pulls a lizard up. I showed her my lizard.
Oh yeah, and there's a bit with they're doing the Nutcracker when Spanky and Alfalfa are dressed in tutus, and she says, "The Nutcracker," and Spanky grabs this junk and is like, "Ah!" So there were a couple of things in there. Yeah, okay.
I do that instinctively when someone says the Nutcracker. I tense. I go, whoo.
But I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was really cute.
No, it's not bad. It's
yeah,
very
it's real tongue
kid-friendly.
in cheek. It's not done in a
So-
vulgar way, but yeah.
Let's do some final thoughts on El Pequeño Rascals.
Well, I give it. I'm gonna go ahead and rate it. I'm gonna give it $4 out of $1.
I like that.
'Cause
I like that
got
a
a
lot.
dollar.
Okay.
I
okay.
got a dollar.
I got a dollar. Hey, 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 hey. You're
hey.
going to be humming that song when this podcast is over.
I
You
always do.
listener. I'm going to give it 4 whoopies out of 4 whoopies.
That's great.
Yes.
I love Whoopi.
Yep. Great movie. Little Rascals. Siskel Ebert, you didn't know what you had.
That's right. Coming up next, we've got the exact opposite of the Little Rascals, Pulp Fiction.
Some would say parallel.
What are we doing, Shannon?
I think we are about to get down and get funky. We are going to do NOMS, the only podcast dedicated to the artistry and music of the only true rapper, MC Scat Cat.
Wow, that's a deep dive.
Yes, it is. I
Yeah,
took
we're-
2 steps forward.
And 2 steps back?
Hey, we go together, matches.
Because opposites attract, you know.
And you know. Ow!
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
actually
what are we-
doing the video
Yo,
ready?
movie corner. Oh, sorry.
pick.
Pick up the.
the
Let's do it again. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we're doing the video. Oh,
Hey, Shannon.
it's like Jesus and Fergie had a baby.
Oh my gosh. Well, I've got 18 picks this week, so here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Joking.
That'll work because our reviews are only 30 seconds. That'll work.
That's right.
We have
No,
Well,
What?
folks, we have the Video Movie Corner Picker of the Week, which is where we highlight a movie that mostly it would be after Siskel and Ebert's heyday,
yeah.
or something maybe they didn't touch at all. And
Yeah.
it's something that we like, we recommend, and we want to share with our friends. We want to
Yeah.
give. We give.
We
us,
want to give
yeah.
you the gift of new movies to watch, whether they're new
That's
or
right.
old.
Or old movies that are new
Yeah.
to you.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like my car.
That's right. Well, I don't know if you remember this, but in the mid-90s, NBC tried this tactic during the summer when they actually had reruns. And they said, if you haven't seen it, it's new to you.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, I have seen it, but I'll act like I didn't.
Well, Shannon, today's movie corner pick of the week for matches is
Yes, machos.
I changed my mind at the last minute again.
I like
was,
your style.
It was last night. I had a real good one, but like I found this movie from Twitter. This guy posted images from a movie called Mad God. And I was like, what is this? And so I looked into it. It's from 2022. It's from Phil Tippett.
Tippett,
and
good.
IMDb says it's about the assassin travels through a nightmare underworld of tortured souls, ruined cities, and wretched monstrosities forged from the primordial horrors of the unconscious mind of Phil Tippett, the world's preeminent stop-motion animator. So,
that's right.
You know this, don't
Tell
you?
More. I've heard of it. Yes,
Okay.
I haven't seen it. I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's wonderful. If you like stop motion animation mixed with live action, mixed with just horror visuals, you're gonna love this because there's not really any talking in it. It's literally just this guy traveling through an underworld of nightmare tortured creatures, and some of it's very gross. So Shannon, you don't want to be eating while you're watching this one. I picked it up for $5, real nice on Fandango at home.
Ooh, nice.
And I watched it today. It was very cool. I liked it a lot. It's been worked on since 1987.
Really?
He worked on the not 1987, the late 80s. So he worked on the stop motion for RoboCop 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And right after that, he started working on this, and that came out in 1990. RoboCop 2
That's the one with the kid terrorist, yeah.
He stopped when Jurassic Park came out because he was like, well, this is old-fashioned and this is done. Until people urged him to complete it. And he started a Kickstarter at one time, too, and that's how it finally got funded. But yeah,
that's how old it was.
Yeah, some of these things took 3 years. Some of these just sequences took 3 years to complete. Like
stop motion, yeah.
Yeah.
Stop motion is not done in like a month.
Yeah, some of it reminded me of like, the Hellraiser 2 sets or whatever, like the big, perspective shots and things like that, and hellish nightmares. It's gross. It's real gross in some parts, but it's very cool.
I don't know if animated grossness makes me sick. Not all gross movies gross me out. Like I can watch some movies and I'm like, oh, his head got chopped off. More salami.
That's right. Well, one thing I meant to mention last week, just a couple of movie news tidbits, is that Alien Romulus is coming to VHS.
Yes, kids, get your VCRs. In case you're wondering what that is, ask your parents or your grandparents.
I actually loved Alien Romulus. It was very good because if you've seen any bad Alien movies, they're all not bad. They're good. They're pretty good. Even the bad ones are good.
I mean, Alien versus Predator, I'm going to like to think those didn't
we're
exist.
not talking about those. Yeah, they had some good ideas. The Grid Alien was really cool. They added that to Dead by Daylight last year.
Oh, yeah, no.
You did what?
The Grid Alien, are you talking about the hybrid Alien Predator Alien?
No, alien? They were talking about the Grid Alien who got the Predator mask, or the Predator net on him, so he had the glowing green net.
Yeah, he was not happy.
Yeah, that was great. I love it.
And Lance Hendrickson, the casting was nice,
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's coming to VHS, and I'm gonna own that. I have to own that somehow.
Where can they watch Mad God?
Well, they can watch it on. Oh gosh, let me look and make sure. I don't think it's streaming anywhere.
Shudder.
Yeah, probably Shudder.
Okay.
Well, it is a Shudder movie, but it doesn't say it's on Shudder. So AMC Plus is Shudder, right?
Yeah, it's part of Shudder. Like so Shudder's part of it. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably they call it a Shudder original. So yeah, you can find it there. I had news on Alien coming to VHS, and then one more little tidbit. Mike Flanagan has directed Stephen King's short story, The Life of Chuck. Have you heard of this?
No, it's not the guy from Supernatural, is it?
No, Mike Flanagan did
not that Chuck.
What is it? The Haunting of Hill House in those movies?
Oh yeah, no,
those
I know
TV shows. Yeah. And so it stars Tom Hiddleston, Sarah, Matthew Lillard, David. I don't know how to say his last name. Dalmatian.
Yes, I say Dalmatian too. That's probably not how you pronounce it, but I don't care.
No, I'm gonna find out. But he's amazing. I love him.
He's the polka dot man.
Karen Gillan's in it as well, and it's supposed to be very, very magical. It did well at film festivals, and I'm excited. Yeah, it's kind of about an end of the world type of short story in 3 parts. And if you want to look it up. But it should come out through Neon in 2025, which is like the newest news on that.
Okay.
All right. What's your video pick of the week, Shannon?
Well, mine is the exact opposite of yours. Mine is not so bleak or well made or lauded or as well put together. My video pick of the week is you might call it a guilty pleasure. I love this film. For one, I love a wacky good teen comedy, as long as it's well done. And this was one from the 80s that I felt like was a little forgotten, but
From
maybe
the 80s?
not like, yeah, from the 80s. That's right. We're going all the way back to 1986. That's right. Sammy Hagar was singing for Van Halen, and we didn't know if New Coke was ever going to come back, but it didn't. It didn't. It's classic from now on, baby. Thanks, Ed McMahon. You saved us. Yeah, so my pick is a 80s wacky comedy. There was a guy named Savage Steve Holland. Savage, of course, being I think Steve was the nickname. You might know Savage Steve Holland as the creator of one of the greatest 90s cartoons of ever time that I love, called Eek the Cat. That's right. It never hurts to help. Eek the Cat. I love that show. I was 15 when it came on. I didn't care. I watched it on Saturday mornings. Eek the Cat is great. So before he did that, Savage Steve Holland made a pair of movies, both starring John Cusack. You might know one, and I might use it as another pick, a movie called Better Off Dead. Okay? And you know how Better Off Dead was weird? But this one, maybe not as well remembered, but I love it. It's called One Crazy Summer. And it is a wild, fun romp. You know this movie?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah. I think I brought it over to your house maybe one time, and I was like, you gotta watch this. One of my favorite. Yeah.
Probably
me
you,
and my
yeah,
sister. So this movie is something that me and my sister used to watch over and over again. I'm sure you and your brother probably have movies like that where it was like the two of you shared, And this movie is great. Like, it's not the greatest movie. It's not the wellest made 80s teen comedy. A lot of people remember other movies better. But it's got a great cast. John Cusack, Bobcat Goldthwait, still love him. He talks like this. And he was in his peak at that time, talking like that. You've got the late, great Joe Flaherty. You've got, I can't remember his name, I think it's Curtis Armstrong, who was known for playing Booger on Revenge of the Nerds. And he was on Moonlighting, very funny guy. He plays a teenager in this one, but he's still scruffy. We'll go with it. And you've got Demi Moore. Demi Moore is in this movie. The guy who played Niedermeyer and the Master on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I can't remember the actor's name. He only shows up every now and then. Mark something.
Yep, you're right. I remember.
He's the villain.
Mark Metcalf?
Yes, Mark Metcalf.
Yeah,
He plays the old man who owns a lot of property. It's basically a wacky 80s comedy. Literally, the plot is they've got to raise money to save Demi Moore's family's old folks home. And there's a boat race. And like every 80s movie, there's running and screaming for no reason. There's a rockin' soundtrack. But there's weird things that happen. Like there's a part where these two little girls are warned if they make faces and you get slapped on the back, it'll stick like that. And as they're making fun of this dog, the little girl comes up, slaps him, and for the rest of the movie, these girls have like monster faces, and they just show up out of nowhere like, ah!
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yes,
yeah.
Joel Murray, the brother of Bill Murray, probably the third most talented Murray after Brian Doyle, maybe.
Yeah.
He's in this movie. I don't want to miss anybody. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, it's a great turn off your brain and enjoy movie. One more thing, there is a movie about a rabid dolphin being filmed in the island. They're at Nantucket, and they're filming a movie about a rabid dolphin that plays a big part in the movie. So check out One Crazy Summer. Yeah, I think you can stream it on Tubi for free or other locations, or you can come to my parents' house where I have it on VHS, and we could watch it sometime. It'd be fun.
Solid pick. Two thumbs up for me.
Mom be like, "You want some cookies, baby? Oh, it's that Police Academy guy. I love him. I love him."
It's true.
So that was our video movie corner.
Pick of the week.
Matches. What do they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France?
Is it a Whopper?
No, I didn't go to Burger King. What do they call it at McDonald's in France?
What are they? I don't know. What do they call it?
It's called a Royale with cheese because the metric system is off.
Oh, yeah. We should know the metric system. It's not that hard, and
You know what?
You know.
Saturday Night Live had a skit about that, of how we fought the Revolutionary War to measure things however we want, Frenchies and English people, okay?
Even if it doesn't make any sense at all.
And it doesn't have to. Does the McRib make any sense? No, it doesn't, but it's delicious.
I hate the McRib now. I used to love the McRib. Now I can't get through it without wanting to vomit. I don't know what happened. Sorry, we're not sponsored by them. I don't care.
Well, we didn't say who they were.
At McDonald's.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, speaking of McDonald's in France, they call not a Big Mac, they call it a Le Big Mac.
Cool.
That's right. That's right. So you might be wondering, listeners or watchers, if you're still with us, and if you are, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
It's a real rough one today.
It's got a diamond in there. There's a diamond in there.
There's a diamond in here somewhere. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, cubic zirconium at least. We are going to be diving into not just one of our favorite movies, one of the greatest movies. I mean, this movie is considered one of the best movies of all time.
By people our age.
By people our age and older.
The younger crowd doesn't seem to get it these days, I don't think.
They probably wouldn't. Yeah, but it was on so many year-end lists. It was like the top thing. It was nominated for Oscars, nominated for Golden Globes. Nominated for, it's just all over the place.
Everything. Everyone wanted to be it. Everyone wanted to watch it. Everyone wanted their movie to be like this. They wanted to be cool and flashy.
We are talking about 1994's Getting Even with Dad. No, we're not.
You watched the wrong movie, didn't you?
Oh, I did.
Oh,
and that movie will always hold a dark
We're talking
place
about
in my heart.
Pulp Fiction, Shannon.
I'll talk about you later,
the
Macaulay
fiction.
Culkin. Pulp Fiction,
Pulpin'
baby.
motherfucking fiction.
Warning, not only will spoilers abound, we'll probably be having the bleep button a lot. Now, Matches will be doing the bleep. I will be doing my best to insert other words like motherfucker, English mother Hubbard. Do you speak it? So,
hand me the keys, you fairy godmother. You remember that classic.
Suspects.
Yeah, Usual Suspects. That's great.
Oh my gosh. You know, speaking of which, Pulp Fiction, I'm sure it's aired on TV.
It has.
I think in 97 I saw it on TV and I wanted to watch more of it because I had to see what they would show. And as you may know and other people may know, when a movie is shown on broadcast TV, for the most part, not on cable anymore, sometimes they let it fly, but on broadcast TV, they will have actors or voiceover work that sounds just like the actor saying the bad cuss word to say a word in between. You know, like on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, little Edith, you know, whatever her name, Edith Hogue or Judith Hogue, whatever her name was, she would say, "Oh, they all love them, the burnouts, airheads." You know,
yeah. I used to know the ones from Pulp Fiction. I feel like because there's some classic ones. There's some classic ones out there from different movies that people like.
I didn't see it on TV.
But here's my story about the TV version of Pulp Fiction, and it was in the 2000s. I'm in my room, minding my own business. You know, they were calling me Spanky back then. No, I'm kidding. And I hear my dearly departed mother. You knew Match's mom.
Who is a saint. Match's mom was
absolutely.
a wonderful lady.
I hear my name called Matches, come here. And I said,
with that sing-songy voice.
Yes, mother. What is it? And she said, what is this movie? It's really good. And I looked and it was Pulp Fiction, heavily edited on WGN.
Oh my gosh.
And there's a gag about this in Community where the religious character Shirley dresses up like Jules, Samuel Jackson's character. They're like, Shirley, you've seen Pulp Fiction? It's like, yeah, I've seen it late night on cable. And she says it's a wonderful story about two friends who and their love of cheeseburgers, basically. And when you edit down Pulp Fiction, that's literally what you get.
That is the cream of the crop.
And I don't know what came first, that story or the Community episode. I really don't. I think it was that story first, but it doesn't matter because it happened. It really happened.
Right.
And
It's a lot like Basic Instinct, bringing it back, Synergy. Like, how much do you edit for TV? How much can you show? Is the movie over in 5 minutes?
Well, to tell us, here's Jean Triplehorn.
What? Jean Triplehorn? All right, everybody, chill out. This is a robbery. Oh, that's not her.
We are going to get her, though, one day.
One day Jean Triplehorn will grace us, yes.
I hope so. She's great.
I got a big love for Gene
So,
Purple-Horn.
anywho.
Pulp Fiction. 1994 is Pulp Fiction, the second movie by one of my favorite directors, probably one of yours, one of the most celebrated directors, Mr. Quentin Tarantino.
Oh,
If
yes.
you're not familiar with Tarantino's works, Tarantino is a movie junkie, and he was raised on all kinds of movies, from like kung fu to B movies to action movies to classic movies, you know, everything in between. And he worked at a video store before he got famous, which is a great story, you know,
Yeah.
which means he knows his stuff, you know.
He later bought it, I think.
Yes.
And
I
got
heard
all the videos and stuff like that.
Yep,
In his collection.
he is a movie junkie. And what's great about him is he takes his influences and he takes his great movies that he loved and he literally mashes them together in his films. So it's not like a cover, it's an homage, but it's also something quite original. You know, he takes the best of what he loves and makes a delicious little stew out of it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I was listening to his podcast over the last couple of years. I don't know.
Oh, I
I
bet
guess they're
that's
still
fun.
doing it. He has a podcast about old movies and stuff. And I was like, oh, I hope this isn't boring. I hope this isn't the same old, same old. It was amazing. It was really good.
Yeah.
He has friends with him, talking to him, even some people that worked with him in the video store days and that kind of thing. So it's a nice podcast. Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, you don't know this, but I have audio of Quentin Tarantino reading The Three Little Pigs. Would you like to hear it?
I would like to hear it, Shannon.
Boop. Play. Okay. So here we go. These pigs, right? These pigs, they're insane. One of them's doing heroin. One of them's doing meth. One of them is a kingpin. Okay. And then you got this wolf, and he's an innocent kind of guy, but he's also from the streets, and it's just it's insane. There you go. That's all I got.
Hey, that was good. Yeah. I
Thank you. I'll
love
have
it.
more later.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, Quentin Tarantino. This was his second movie. His first movie, of course, being the classic
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs, or as some people who didn't quite know what that word was, Reserve Dogs.
Oh, no.
I'm not kidding. There were people who were like, I can't pronounce this movie, but I like it.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, it's like what was it? The Tao of Steve. Remember this
Tao.
movie? The Tao
Tao
of Steve.
of Steve.
You mean the Tao? No, it says right here, Tao, T-A-O.
Well, that's like one of my favorite artists from the 80s R&B and early 90s, Sade. I love the music of Sade. Who doesn't love Sade? Am
That's
I wrong?
true. Well, I hear people
Sade
pronounce
is
that one
nice.
different ways. Sade
Sade?
or
Okay,
Charday.
Sade.
And I think it's
Okay.
Charday.
I pronounce it Sade.
There's no R in it, but is it
There's not.
Irish? I don't know.
I'm not sure. But
know if that makes
she's
sense.
fancy like.
Dude, Lovers Rock is a CD I actually have in my car right now. It's one of my favorites. Absolutely.
Okay. That's some good Sade right there.
Oh, it's good.
So Pulp Fiction, speaking of lovely things, like this movie is just like it's funny. It's got some dark humor in it. It's about, you know, like these rough and tumble characters from all walks of life. And, you know, at the beginning of the movie, it actually gives you a definition of pulp, or two of them. Remember
Yeah.
that? Yep. And so Quentin Tarantino...
Two of them, yeah, because one flips up and then the other one, right?
Yeah. And Tarantino, like, uses all these, like, you know, just like seedy characters in a delicious stew. And I have a very funny story to tell you about how I first saw it. Okay, so the movie
Really?
came out and it was an independent film. Okay.
Yeah.
So it didn't get a wide release. So it like
Yeah.
slowly eked out. And this was the day before streaming. This is the day when movie theaters, and then 4 or 5 months later, or 6 months maybe, video. So Pulp Fiction didn't even play in Southwest Arkansas, where I'm from and you're from, till like March, like
Yeah.
after the Oscars had already aired.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it got the buzz, and it finally played at the
That's when
El
I saw
Dorado
it. I just want to
Cinemas.
say that.
I know. That's when most of us saw it in Arkansas, probably. Yeah. So,
Did you see it in theaters too?
No, I wanted
What?
to. Oh, I
What?
never had the opportunity. So I got to tell you, it was a whole year later. I was out from college one weekend, and I
Yeah.
went to my friend's house. The same friend who did the Freddy blurb about they're making a Freddy movie, and Freddy shows up.
Are you
He's like,
serious?
hey, man. He's like, hey, I read a Pulp Fiction. It's hard to get in the video. This is the time
This guy.
when you had to get to the videos right. It took almost a year to come to video. And
This guy's
because it was
amazing.
Oh, this guy's great. I love him. He was one of my great friends from back in the day. And still's a good guy. Great guy. And he beat cancer, by the way. He kicked cancer's
Really?
butt, so good for Yes.
Good for him. I'm glad.
He put cancer in a glass, and he's like, I'm going to watch you. So, yeah. So we're going to watch Pulp Fiction. So I'm watching Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
And I have no idea, but all of a sudden, in the middle of the movie, a character that I know that shows up at the end of the film gets killed. And it threw me off. And that's when I realized this movie's out of order.
Yeah, because they weren't doing
The
that
whole
back
year-
then.
No, and a whole year passed by, and I never had heard that from any review, from any viewer. No one ever told me it was out of order. So I'm watching the movie going, I am really lost now. What's going on?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, by the time you got to the end, you'd figured it out, right?
Oh, totally.
Okay. It's not like you were, like, still pondering on it 6 months later, like, oh, God, what was with that movie?
So, Matches, before we get into all the rigmarole and the rock it to me, sock it to me, what is your story of seeing Pulp Fiction? I got to hear.
Well, it's a sad one, Shannon.
Oh gosh, I wasn't ready for that.
All right, go ahead and bundle up and pull the kids tight.
All right.
Because
I'm ready.
back in 1994, Pulp Fiction was released into theaters. And in 1995, my father passed away. Yes, it is true. He did.
Yeah.
And so our friends were all there
Good guy.
to, they came over right away. Once they heard, they were over with movies. We got to see Life of Brian for the first time on video on VHS.
Oh, wow.
We got to see Army of Darkness on VHS.
For the first time?
Yeah, and it was such a serious mood that I thought it was a bad movie. I didn't understand that it was a comedy. I thought it was supposed to be serious until I saw it again later. Because I hadn't seen Evil Dead. I didn't know Evil Dead existed until college.
Oh wow! Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you have that. I'm gonna let you have that. It's okay. I came to it all late too.
Yeah.
Army of Darkness was my first one.
But I was just so kind of out of it, I guess. And so we had older friends. I was in 10th grade, and I was 16. My friends were seniors, so they were 17, turning 18, probably something like that. And they were the cool girls, and so they invited me out to go see Pulp Fiction with them, and they didn't even check our IDs. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the first weekend it was out for the Oscar run or whatever in South Arkansas.
Oh, nice.
So,
The Oscars gave it some much needed fuel. Yeah.
We went and saw Pulp Fiction, and at the time I saw the greatest movie I'd ever seen. I got every bit of it. Like, they haven't made movies like this in forever. I was like, this is the greatest movie. If my dad were alive today, he would love this movie. Well, his favorite movies were Steel Magnolias and Die Hard.
I never met your dad, but I think we would have gotten along great if those were his two favorite movies.
Yeah, for real, they were. And so when I saw it, I knew he'd like it, So it was just kind of like he was there with me, that kind of thing. And so the next weekend, I was hyping this up with our best friends, my brother and our best friend. And I was like, you've got to see this movie. It's so good. So we went down to the theater. We went to the theater and we were like, 3 please for Pulp Fiction. And they were like, can we see your IDs? And I was like, 3 please for Roommates, starring Billy Crystal and a giant. The most horrible movie we've ever seen.
Wait, what year are you talking about? What year? My Giant came out like in 98, didn't it?
Oh, wait, what was Roommates about then?
There was a movie called, I don't know, we're going to have to research this.
No, it's Billy Crystal and a giant, right? Or am I thinking something else?
That was My Giant.
That was My Giant? Hold on, let me look this up.
All right, while you're fixing it in post, I got to tell you, I saw Life of Brian at OBU, so just saying, Roommates. That's kind of funny. I don't know why.
Wait, no. Oh, this is a completely different movie. Stars Peter Falk, Amy Sweeney, and Julianne Moore. An elderly yet young at heart man moves in with his grandson, and both their lives turn upside down. Is that what we saw? I remember we saw Roommates, but I thought it was My Giant, I guess.
I thought that came out in 94.
This is 95.
Right. Okay, I guess it came out in 95. Yeah, he's raising his grandson. And it's a pretty good movie. It's okay.
Yeah, it was not Pulp Fiction at all.
No,
whatever it was we saw was not Pulp Fiction. So,
but you had seen it. You had seen it at least.
Yeah, I saw it, and we had to wait. I was so upset, but they were like, "It's okay. It'll come out on VHS, and we can watch it." And so I went to our local music store every week asking if it was in, just in case. It was in. They're like, "We told you it's gonna be 6 months." To a year.
Rest in peace on Q.
And it was probably over 6 months by the time that actually came out. Yeah, it was a long time actually back then. Just waiting. And we finally got the poster. We got the poster from the theater, from the theater owner. Nice. Yeah. And I don't think I have it anymore, which is kind of sad, but we got the full size movie poster, and I was just absolutely head over heels of this movie. So, but we got to get to Siskel and Ebert.
Listen, I bet they loved it. I bet they loved it. I just want to hear what they say anyway.
We're all going to be like 3 little Fonzies here. And what's Fonzie like? Come on, Yolanda, what's Fonzie like?
Cool.
What?
Cool.
Correctamundo. And that's what we're going to be. We're going to be cool.
That showdown interrupts a stick-up in a scene from Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino's amazingly entertaining, outrageous, challenging, bizarre new movie. This is filmmaking of a high order, a movie that walks a narrative tightrope so complicated and convoluted that unless you really stop to figure it out, the movie seems to double back on itself.
You can just shut up for a minute, comfortably share silence.
Look, Shannon.
Yes.
He loves it. Ebert loves it.
He wants to marry it. He wants to take it out to dinner.
That's For a $5 milkshake at...
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's so funny. When I was watching this earlier today, I went and told my wife, I was like, so Travolta's character freaks out about a $5 milkshake. And how much do they cost these days?
Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out if it's $5 because it's real cheap.
That's right. That's right.
$5
He's
is
take her
a
out
cheap,
to...
cheap
Oh my
milkshake.
gosh.
I'm questioning the ingredients in that milkshake.
Well, I will say this. Whoever's elected president, the one thing I want from them is to fix that ice cream machine.
He's dead.
Pulp Fiction is charged up with the exhilaration of pure filmmaking, with colorful characters and screwy dialogue and unbelievable situations.
Is that Kathy Griffith?
Yes, apparently they said she's playing herself, which is
really?
weird. Just no
Yeah,
one knew
because
Kathy
Julia
Griffith in
Sweeney's
94.
in this movie as well. Like,
Well, I was gonna say if we can talk about the casting later, but Julia Sweeney, yes, that would be
right.
Pat from Saturday Night Live.
oh yeah, which he actually doctored the script of Pat the movie.
Really?
Yeah, because they were good friends. That's why she's in this movie.
And
It
was
didn't
still
help it
bad?
any.
No.
It was a
No,
bad.
yeah, he had his name on a lot of scripts, and then he took his name off a lot of scripts. I noticed that.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
He's a great writer.
Situations
Let's go back.
and violence and comedy all trying to shoulder each other off the screen. Pulp Fiction is rude and crude and R-rated, so keep that in mind. It is also one of the year's best films.
I liked it very much too, Roger. And this is the first picture of his that I...
Yay! The first picture of his that he really liked.
This is Siskel. It's his second picture, though. Like, out of the two pictures, this one's good. Okay.
Oh, we're about to
Siskel.
find out about how much he hated Reservoir Dogs, I guess. All right, let's do it.
Yes, yeah.
really have enjoyed.
Yeah.
I think it's in the past, in Reservoir Dogs, there was a lot of energy and very little humanity, I felt, in that film. I thought it was going after style. Here, this film vibrates with interesting characters and the dialogue. I mean, it's
fun to listen to these people talking. Even Travolta's just come back from Amsterdam, and he has a whole speech about McDonald's stores in Amsterdam that is fun to listen to. The things they talk about are so quirky.
I think that this guy is writing some of the most original dialogue since David Mamet. I think that the picture is very rough. There's violence in this film that's going to put people off. But there is humor and humanity in the picture that makes it all work. It's a big. He's a big talent in this film.
It's a funny thing. I've seen the movie 3 times, and the violence seems to be less important every time I see it. For example, there's a man who's killed in the back seat of a car, and if you look carefully, you don't really see the violence so much as you see the consequences.
There's another,
which turn out to be very.
That's true. Yeah, with Phil Lamar's character. What was
I
his
was
name?
about to say that would be Mad TV's Phil Lamar.
It's true. What was his name? Marvin.
Yeah, it was Marvin.
That's it.
Because when Mad TV premiered a year later, and they did the sketch where they pretty much put the two biggest movies of '94 together, Forrest Gump and Pulp Fiction, Gump Fiction.
Yeah.
They showed Phil Lamar from the movie. They were like starring Tom Hanks and Michael T. Williamson and Phil Lamar.
Oh, that's right. I remember that actually.
Yeah, he was their snitch.
I remember riding Miss Daisy too.
Okay, I don't remember that one, but
you know what I really like, Hoke, and she jumps in he jumps in the back seat and they start doing it. It's great.
I remember Artie Lang was Babe Watch. Do you remember that? He was Babe, but if he was on Babe Watch. And they roasted him and ate him at the end of the sketch.
Are you serious? Oh, that was so good. Okay, sorry. Back to Pulp Fiction.
Okay. So I am not shocked that they love this movie. I mean, because they're film critics, and this is everything you would kind of want to see in a movie. And he's right. The dialogue is just like, this is one of those movies some movies you like, too much talky,
Yeah.
not enough shooty, not enough exploding.
About 10
But in
years
this
ago, I
movie-
saw it again in modern theaters on digital. And
okay.
I would say like I'd kind of gotten tired of watching this movie. I've seen it so much. Like,
Really?
it's a good movie, yeah. But
Okay,
like
I
you
never
see it
get
in the
tired.
theater, that is the way it's supposed to be. And I know that sounds pretentious.
No,
But it was
no,
like I
no,
was
that's-
watching it again for the first time.
No, I get it. Tarantino, he's such a film nerd, not snob. He's such a film geek and a film nerd. Like, didn't he insist on the Hateful Eight being a certain millimeter or something in
Oh,
theaters?
yeah.
Like, yeah, like not 8mm. That'd be like home movies. You know,
Oh,
that
yeah.
would sound like. Grandpa. But yeah, let's finish out the review of this. Like, and we can talk about how much we love the movie and if we agree with them. I doubt we do.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Not on
Another
this
scene
one.
of abuse and sadomasochism that is going to put people away, I'm afraid. But
Zed,
that's
Zed,
only
baby.
one scene in an otherwise, really, I think,
Well, actually,
exciting
that
film.
movie I thought was handled in a very particularly delicate way in order to get it on the screen without really turning people
Okay.
off.
And you know, because of this movie, Tarantino was unfortunately elevated to act in a lot of films. You know,
Yeah.
Destiny Turns on the Radio. And Tarantino, much like Spike Lee, would put himself in his movies, but he knew how to cast himself.
Yeah.
You know, he'd always put himself in a fun... Like, he has the great lines whenever Samuel Jackson and John Travolta need their car cleaned up after it's full of Phil Lamar's body, you know? And
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
talking about how he's got to get everything done. He's got to get the body out of the garage because
I shot Marvin.
Yeah, but Barney's coming home. His
Yeah.
wife.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have these scenarios where Bonnie comes home and she just loses it and kills
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
and they're like, "We got to get out before Bonnie comes home."
Yeah, yeah. Well, the other thing that struck out 10 years ago was Quentin Tarantino's use of the N-word quite a few times.
Yeah, this is true. As his character,
It was kind of awkward even 10 years ago. Like, but I know like Samuel Jackson has given him a card, but I don't feel like people can do that.
does he have a past? Well, he writes the dialogue.
Yeah.
And there's another white character. Oh, Eric Stoltz. Says
yeah.
the word as well. So let's talk real quick about the casting of this film.
Yeah.
Like Tarantino, if nothing else, besides being a master storyteller and a great director, is a great caster. He literally resurrects careers.
He must be a great pitcher too, from the very beginning, getting Harvey Keitel and all those people in his movie. You know, like
Keitel's like one of his muses. He was in Reservoir Dogs, as was
Yeah.
Tim Roth.
that's
And
his
Steve
first
Buscemi-
movie though. Like, how are all these
Yeah.
people in his first movie? You know, like
I know. You got Michael Madsen. What's his name? He was always like I always thought him and Michael Madsen were the same guy, but they weren't. He was in Saving Private Ryan. What's his name? He died recently. Tom,
Hanks.
not Savini. You know who I'm talking about?
I think I do, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was in Reservoir Dogs too. He had this great cast of people, and then he moves on to Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And like I said, he resurrects careers because John Travolta, besides
Oh,
Look Who's
yeah.
Talking, John Travolta had, besides the Look Who's Talking first movie, we're not counting the trilogy.
He went straight down to the bottom as anyone
He was straight
could.
to video.
Yeah.
Yes, his career had like tanked, and he resurrected it. He got nominated for an Oscar for this movie.
With
and
one
he had-
movie, and then after
Oh.
that, it was just straight back down.
Well, I mean, after a period, you know, and he's had
well,
some.
what
he's
was
had
it?
some
Good
moments
Shorty that was supposed to be really good. I didn't like Good Shorty.
I couldn't get into it. To this
No.
day, I can't watch it. But I watched Be Cool. I liked Be Cool, the sequel.
I didn't see that one. I don't think it was a sequel.
Yeah, well, you'll like it. You'll like it. James Woods gets killed early on in the movie.
Really? Yes.
Be Cool.
No, he's a
Be
real
Cool.
creep, y'all. He's awful.
Be Cool is where he reunites with Uma Thurman, and it's about the music. You know, in the first movie, it was about the movie industry. Now he's getting
Yeah.
into the music industry. And Vince Vaughn and The Rock.
I guess I forgot
The
about
Rock
that
is
movie.
The Rock is like 10 minutes in that movie. Maybe he steals the whole thing. He's so
Okay.
good. But back to Pulp Fiction, yeah. John Travolta got resurrected. Samuel Jackson, who at that time before that had small parts in movies, and then got real buzz about being in Jungle Fever as Wesley Snipes'
that's
crack
right.
addicted brother Gator.
Okay.
Yeah, he had Oscar buzz even though he didn't get nominated. And then we all know, and I always forget, he's in Jurassic Park.
What?
Samuel Jackson.
That's right.
I don't
He
know why I
is.
forget that.
Yeah, yeah.
See, you got the same
I
thing.
forgot.
It happened to you. It happened to you.
Yep. Yep.
It
Yep.
wasn't just me. To this day, I think he's alive. He just lost his arm.
Yeah.
Do you feel we got cheated not seeing him being torn apart?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it would have been
Yeah.
cool.
It was a cool
Motherfucker! I'm getting torn apart.
and you will know that I'm dinosaur bait. This is the way I talk in my movies.
It could be good, man. I don't know. I'd like it.
That's hilarious.
He's so
the
good.
mother-loving force.
He's the reason why we didn't get claymation dinosaurs in Jurassic Park while we got the CGI dinosaurs. I don't think that's true.
me?
I just made that up.
Oh, okay, because that's hilarious.
That's a rock fact.
Claymation
No,
dinosaurs.
the guy who did the CGI is the guy who made that happen. They were going to do claymation. They really were.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Synergy, baby.
It would have been real bad, y'all.
You got John Travolta and Samuel Jackson as Vincent Vega and Jules, two of the coolest hitmen in the world. And can I just say that it's the second scene in the movie where it shows them in the car. You know, they're talking about him going to Amsterdam and France and talking about all the, different things. That conversation alone, that got me. Like, I knew that was good. I had read reviews about it because the very first thing I'd heard about this movie was a review in Rolling Stone. Never heard of the film. And they're talking about that scene and what they're talking about. And that is like, that's like so delicious. That whole scene where they're just talking and they put like a whole 2 movies worth of plots in just their dialogue as they're going to go do their job.
They get you from the beginning, I think.
They do.
One thing I thought was really neat that I didn't get back then that I got later was Butch and his girlfriend.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't get Bruce Willis, the palooka boxer on his last leg who's told to throw a fight for
who is his
being raised in
girlfriend?
Church of Marcellus Wallace. She was a French actress, and I don't know her name.
Okay, I can't remember either. But at one point, she's looking in the mirror going, I really want a big pot belly. How would you like you'd feel about me having a big pot belly? And I always thought that was the quirkiest, weirdest thing until you realize, like, she's saying, what if we got pregnant? How would you feel about that? Yeah.
I get it. You don't get that the first time you hear her
I didn't get
that.
it at all. I was like, that's real quirky. That's hilarious.
Oh my
she
gosh,
want a pot belly for? That's cute. Will he still love her when she has a pot belly? I don't know.
Will you still love me?
Yeah, I love that though.
Oh man. That is, like I said, the dialogue, the characters. You got Bruce Willis as a down on his luck boxer who is paid by. Okay, we haven't even mentioned the big crime boss, Marcellus Wallace.
Yeah, there's so much to mention here. We're already 30 minutes into this, aren't we?
I know. Right? I think we've been doing this for 2 hours. Like, Jules and Vincent work for Marcellus. They're problem solvers. They're hitmen. And they talk, like I said, in that just 10 to 15 minute scene, you get so much of the characters that you haven't even seen. You know that Marcellus Wallace has a temper. Yeah. You know that you don't touch his wife. There's a rumor that he has killed people that gave his wife feet massages.
Well, I like how all of it's just crap, like bull crap, you know?
It is. You find out later. But they get to the apartment and they say the best part of the whole movie to me. They go, Samuel Jackson goes, all right, let's get into character.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And they're there to take out some dudes. Like I said, Phil Lamar was a snitch. And what do the dudes have? They stole from Marcellus Wallace, one of the baddest crime bosses in all of Pulp.
You don't do that. They stole.
No, you don't.
A briefcase?
That's right. A briefcase.
Still a briefcase.
Ving Rhames plays the character. What was in the briefcase? It was Arby's, because we have the meats.
That's right. I have the briefcase here right behind me.
What? That's amazing. Is there meat in there? We got to talk about this briefcase. Okay, because this briefcase is, as you said earlier, a McNugget. Is that what you said?
A MacGuffin.
A McGregor. A McGuffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the briefcase is what got stolen, and the briefcase kind of moves the plot along. Here's the great thing about this briefcase. You want to tell them, Ashes?
Well, nobody knows what's in it. The whole movie. That's why it's a MacGuffin. It's something that keeps moving the story along, but has nothing to do with the movie, I guess. Like
it does, but it's
cited as the greatest example
after.
of that. Yeah, it's something very sought after, something that's really, really like. They look at it and they're like, we can't even have this. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. like when they open it up, it glows. You remember that? There's a glow to it.
It was apparently a glow stick they threw in there.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And the great thing is Tarantino will never tell what was in the briefcase. He said if he tells what it is, then the fans no longer own the movie.
I would hope that he himself doesn't know what it is. Like, I think that would make it a better. That would be great if he just didn't know what it was either. Like,
let's talk about the theories of what it is. You and I have our favorite pick of the litter. Tell them about the theory that we have that we've heard.
That it's Marcellus Wallace's soul inside of the briefcase.
Either
and I
he
think
sold to the devil.
There's more to it than that, I guess. But do you know more about that?
About the soul?
Yeah. There was more to it than that.
Well, I know every time you see a back shot of Marcellus Wallace, because Ving Rhames is wonderfully bald, he has a Band-Aid on the back of his head.
Yeah.
And that's right. Yeah. The soul the soul is extracted from the back of the head, and that's why he has the Band-Aid. And yeah, because people see it, they open it up, and they're just amazed. They're like,
that's why it makes sense to me. I forgot about the Band-Aid aspect because he just has a Band-Aid on the back of his neck, and it's never said why.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like part of the character, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the genius of the movie. Because people say things like, "Is that what I think it is?" You know?
Yeah. It's so good. Yeah. You think by the end you're gonna find out, but at the end you don't even care. The movie's just so good. It was done perfectly. I just feel like it's still kind of a perfect movie, even if a lot of people think it's overrated or pretentious or don't get it today.
Really? Do people think that?
Oh yeah. You know.
Oh. Well, like I said, what's great about this movie, as I said earlier, it is out of order. And it's a great way to tell the movie, because if you think about it, I bet someone has done a cut where they show all the scenes in order. I bet
probably.
Good.
Yeah. They did that with Memento, I think. There's a fan cut of Memento.
Yeah, no, on the DVD you could do that.
Could you do that? Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
You can watch it in reverse. It's not as good. It's not as good.
Whenever the movie came out, Quentin Tarantino was like, "Oh my God, what have I done? Nobody's gonna like this. It's so experimental. It's so crazy. There's so many F-bombs and just so much bad, considered bad stuff in it. He thought he felt like Kevin Smith did about Clerks. He's like, my mom has got to see this. What have I done?
My mom's gonna see it. I can't put this out.
This is a disaster. Two of the best movies of the 90s from Quentin Tarantino and Kevin Smith.
Right, that was the year they became the directors. You're right, you're right. Yeah, it's just great because, like, this movie is just like an opera of F-bombs and terrible things. And most of the characters are not redeemable. Yeah. They're bad people. Now, Samuel L. Jackson goes through a moment, because the bullets that the guy jumps out of the, bathroom to shoot him with, by the way, played by Alexis Arquette, one of the Arquettes.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Okay. He tries to kill them after he's killed Frank Whaley and the other guy in the apartment. And the bullets completely miss him. Yeah. And he thinks it's divine intervention, so he's going to rethink his life. And as he tells John Travolta's character, Vincent Vega, he tells him, I'm going to walk the earth. What you mean walk the earth? Like Kane in Kung Fu.
Yeah. He's pretty redeemable, I think. And I mean, they were just playing a part, basically, when they were being like that. And they didn't mean to kill Marvin. They were just, like, threatening him.
Well, that was Vincent. Remember, because the car like bounced.
But he still didn't mean to.
Jules.
It was Jules.
That's right. He did not mean to.
No, it was Vincent. It was Vincent. Yeah, because he puts it back there. He's like, I shot Marvin in the head. What do you mean you shot Marvin in the head?
I know, like, the movie's so funny, and like I said, it's it's not for everybody. It's dark, and you're rooting for the bad guys, but it's just so good because, like, that scene they showed, Bruce Willis, he has thrown a fight that he was told to. No, he won a fight that he was supposed to throw by the baddest.
Yeah, that's why
the baddest criminal.
Yeah.
He's on the run, and who does he see at the cross section?
Marcellus Wallace. It was the best scene of all time because he just turns and looks, and that face is
funny.
So good. And Bruce Willis's face is so he's reacting. It's so good.
Yeah, Tarantino cast Bruce Willis because not only did he love Die Hard, but he thought he had this great silent quality to him. Yeah, like a quiet storm.
Well, he tried out. He wanted to be Vincent, I think, at first. So or Jules or something. Yeah.
Fun fact. In Reservoir Dogs, Michael Madsen plays Vic Vega.
That's right. Okay, and people think they're brothers. Yeah, or they are.
They're supposed to be. And Tarantino even had an idea for a team-up movie with Vic and Vincent.
Who was it that played Vic?
That would be Michael Madsen.
Michael Madsen played him. Okay.
The very
I was thinking Chris Penn for some reason, but no.
No, but he was in that movie.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, he played the gangster son, yeah. But what's great about this, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it now. John Travolta has been sent after Bruce Willis to kill him. Yeah. And John Travolta gets killed in the middle of the movie, which is when I realized, it's out of order.
Yeah, and then he comes back later, and you're like, oh, he's fine. Okay, good.
Yeah. Because they have to change clothes in these ridiculous little, what outfits that we would wear on a beach,
Yeah, well, they had to wear whatever the guy had, on hand.
They did.
But how did you feel about this movie, Shannon?
Well, I got to say something real quick. You remember Vince and Jules start off the movie in suits and end up the movie in real colorful clothes, shorts and pants, or shorts and shirts. Two guys I know that went to Comic-Con in 2015, they dressed as Vince and Jules. Okay, they had the hair, they had everything. They started off the day in suits, and then 3 hours later changed into those outfits. And the guy who played Jules had the wallet that said "Bad A."
Where was this?
This was at Little Rock Comic-Con.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It was hilarious. Oh, and one more thing. Samuel L. Jackson was supposed to have an afro. And when it came to the set, it got turned into a jerry curl. And Quentin Tarantino was furious. And Samuel L. Jackson convinced him. He's like, no, we can work with this.
Huh,
We can do
cool.
this. This will work. Yeah. So that's how he got his haircut.
That's
so how
awesome.
I feel about Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There's so much more we could say, but we don't have time.
Even
Pulp
if I didn't
Fiction
like
is-
it, it would hold a special memory for me anyway. So I would love
Yes.
it. I think
It is
it's
considered...
a good movie.
It's a great movie. It's considered Tarantino's best film by a lot of critics and a lot of fans.
It's made for watching in the theaters, so it's like, it's the theater experience. So when it comes back, you've got to go see it. Reservoir Dogs I watched in the theater 10 years ago, and then a week later they had this one. They did Jackie Brown the next week and stuff like that.
I started with Jackie Brown in the theaters. I saw Inglorious B words and all of them. So my mom's listening. So for Pulp Fiction, let's see. What do I give it? I am gonna give it. Oh, this is gonna be hard. I'm gonna give it 5 honey bunnies out of 5 honey bunnies.
That's cute, but you're not gonna give it 5 motherfuckers out of 5 motherfuckers.
I'm not, but you can.
I am. That's what I give it.
That's why I love you, buddy. I love it. Pulp Fiction is a must-see. It is fun. It is funny.
There
it
are
is not for kids.
265 F-bombs in that movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's that little.
But that's a great...
And there is also that pretty gnarly scene in the pawn shop or whatever it is with
That's
the Gimp.
right, yeah.
And,
The Gimp, man. When they brought the Gimp out, I was delighted. I was just like, yay! Oh!
But because of that, before we end, 2 of the best lines. One of the lines where one of the guys named Zed and Bruce Willis, when he gets away, him and Ving Rhames, they settle up. He's not going to go after him because he saved his life. Bruce Willis picks up his girlfriend. He goes, "This motorcycle belongs to Zed." And she's like, "Who's Zed?" And he says, "Zed's dead, baby." And then Marcellus Wallace says, "You better leave. I'm about to go medieval on there." And that became a saying that people would say, "I'm going to go medieval on your butt."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right,
that was
Pulp
it.
Fiction.
Oh, well. Yeah, we did it.
Hey, Matches.
Hey, Shannon. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, how are you?
Good to see you today, man.
Man, it is. Oh, thank you, man. It's good to see you too, in these
It's
trying
true.
times. Now more than ever. Oh, yeah. No, it's always good to see you, man. We've been buddies since college, and man, and I think I'm still in college. I have that dream. But speaking of dreams, I have a dream of making, probably the greatest theme song ever. And I've tried. I've even brought in
Is it that
celebrities.
time again?
And every week, it is that time. It is that time. I waited to the end of this episode for a special reason. I wrote this totally inspired by myself, and the melodies from my own, the lyrics from my own. Okay, are you ready for this? I need you to get in the mood. I need you to get all slow jammed and maybe, get some nice.
Are we doing some Usher?
Some Benetons. Oh, no, better than Usher.
Justin
Better than
Timberlake?
Usher. No, this is the Shannon original. No, the king of R&B, Pat Boone. No, we are going to do a special theme. So are you ready to hear this?
I am.
Here we go. And 2. They reviewed together, and often they were right. Siskel and Ebert would agree, and sometimes they would fight. We'll fix that in post. We do this podcast because we love the movie fun, joking and discussing from Casper to Lethal Weapon. Is Keith David the thing? What was in that briefcase? And why did Bruce Willis forget he was dead? So now we've come to the end of the show, but I still don't know who the killer is. Is it Sharon Stone? Is it Jeannie T? And here's the part where the bass guy comes in. Girl, NOMS is here for you. All those other podcasts might tell you what you want to hear, and you can subscribe, but we'll still be here for you. Loving Jeffrey Combs and doing bad impressions. All those sleepless nights. All those lonely, lonely, lonely times when you just wish you had a USB in your heart, baby. You had to look up and see who's behind the ghost face mask. Also, can you validate? Although we've come to the end of the the show, just like Willem Dafoe. We're all smiling weird. Kurt Russell's beard. Noms belongs to you. And I'm done. Woo. I started out that song a boy, and at the end I became a man.
Did you stay up all night writing that? Because that was really good. Until it went off the rails. Shannon?
I wrote that while I was
I'll let you do it next
work.
week, but I don't know, buddy. We've done this how many times now? 6 times? At least.
Okay, I guess 7 times.
Yep, it's fine.
I had 3 other guys that were supposed to join
buddy.
me. And they
they didn't show up. It's okay.
I was down on bended knee.
Yeah, just like your birthday parties when you were little. They never showed up.
Oh, no, they did. My mom said they were outside. They just didn't know which door to come in.
Buddy. Oh, that
That's
was
what
a
my mom
lie.
said for 4 hours.
Yeah. That was to make you feel better, honey.
Oh, that clown was even making fun of me.
Yeah, it was Art the Clown. So.
Oh, no, that'd be the worst.
We're not even wrapping this one up. We don't care. That was...
And
scene. Yeah, we're off.
Well, that's what I call a sticky situation.
That's hilarious, Shannon.
I think so, too. And to think, I also told you the cure for male baldness.
You
I
did,
wish I could remember it. I did, dang
Yeah.
it. Well, that was fun. We did Pulp, Rascals, and Little Fiction. And that was a good roundup. But listen, we've had a good time. But I have got to go. I am kind of in a hurry because I have just come into acquisition of this little briefcase here. And it's not exactly by legal means. It says property of M. Wallace. Probably Marsha Wallace? Maybe? Monty Wallace? I don't know, this briefcase, people were really wanting it, and I think it's got the keys to my fortune. I think it's got the keys to our dreams. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Is that what I think it is? Oh,
Let me see.
So beautiful. Do you really want to know? Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, here we go. The Bart Simpson keychain.
Oh my God.
This is what they fought after in Pulp Fiction. From Basic Instinct.
I was
going to
do the same thing.
Too?
I was going to do this too. What are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing? Listen,
This is my gag.
This sealed Gene Triplehorn's fate right here. Do you know how many people got killed by these things in the 90s? So many people from the Bart Simpson keychain. Did we just do a double visual gag?
We forgot to coordinate our gags. It's okay. It's fine. It happens all the time.
It is cool. Just let me know when we do Showgirls, because I've got something fabulous.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Well, listen, we thank you so much for watching or listening. I do have to go because there's 2 guys outside that look like Danny Zuko and Mace Windu, and they want me for something. So I gotta go talk about the briefcase. They're gonna buy it. So if they want to reach us, Matthew, if Gene Triplehorn or Samuel L. Jackson or anybody else wants to know what
After
the
this,
is up,
I don't know if they ever will. But you can reach us at nomspodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. Oh, yeah, on the webs. Hey, if the kids from Little Rascals want to reunite again, because it is the 30th anniversry.
That's right. Yeah.
They reunited for a photo shoot for 20 years later, and it was pretty cute, right?
Yeah, I saw that. That was great. Yeah. They still kind of look the same. Some of them kind of don't. Yeah.
There's
it's like Darla looked almost like exactly the same, except for older. Yeah.
Right. Adorable. So,
we better wrap this up. We went a little long on Pulp Fiction this week, so.
Yeah, but we kind of had to, Palooka. All right. Well, I'm going to go enjoy a Royale with cheese. I'll see ya.
All right, freeze frame.
Yes, this briefcase is for sale. No tongues. I was about to say, I was like... Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom.